Black dirt, silent stone, a dead river bend. Most people walk past it, but sometimes that is exactly where the gold is waiting, not hidden, ignored. And the terrifying part? Some of the richest gold ground on Earth looked completely worthless, right before it changed someone's life forever. Welcome to Pro Gems, where geology becomes treasure and ordinary ground hides extraordinary secrets. Tonight, you will never look at boring land the same way again. Most people search for gold emotionally. That's the problem. They chase excitement, bright quartz, huge veins, shiny rocks, dramatic mountains. They want the earth to scream, but real gold country rarely screams. It whispers, quietly, patiently, and the people who understand those whispers find what others miss, because gold is not rare the way people think. The real rarity is recognition. Before, men became rich from gold. They usually walked over it first, not once, sometimes for years. The California hills looked ordinary. The Yukon looked frozen and lifeless. Western Australia looked empty. Even the rivers of Alaska seemed too quiet. Until suddenly, someone noticed what everyone else ignored, and history changed. That is how gold works, not through visibility, through interpretation. Most beginners are trained incorrectly from the start. They're taught to search for objects, but professionals search for behavior. That difference changes everything. Because gold does not behave like normal material. It is heavy, unnaturally heavy. A single small piece can outweigh entire handfuls of stone around it. And because of that, gold moves differently, stops differently, settles differently. The earth organizes itself around those rules. And if you understand those rules, you stop chasing luck. You start predicting treasure. Imagine a river, cold water, gray stone. Nothing dramatic, nothing exciting. Most people glance once, then leave. But an experienced prospector sees something else entirely. They notice the river suddenly slows. The gravel becomes tighter, heavier, more compact. The rocks stop scattering randomly. The current changes tone. The bend deepens slightly. Tiny details, tiny changes. But together, they tell a story about energy. And gold follows energy more faithfully than color. This is where people fail. They search with their eyes instead of their mind. Because visually, gold country often looks disappointing. Quiet ground feels unimportant. But quiet ground is exactly where heavy material survives. Violent water moves everything. Calm water sorts everything. And gold loves the moment when violence disappears. That is the secret, not movement, settlement. Before gold is found, the land prepares itself first, slowly, over centuries, sometimes millions of years. Water cuts channels, pressure fractures rock, heat changes minerals underground. Tiny geological events repeat endlessly. Most people never notice, because nothing looks valuable. But beneath the surface, the earth is arranging weight, separating density, creating traps, preparing storage vaults made from stone. And this is where the psychology becomes dangerous. Humans are attracted to drama, bright colors, sharp contrast, obvious signs. That instinct destroys more gold opportunities than bad equipment ever could. Because obvious signs attract crowds, quiet signs create fortunes. Think about it. If gold truly announced itself loudly, would it remain undiscovered for centuries? No. The greatest deposits often survived precisely because they looked ordinary. A smooth bend in a river, dark compact gravel, a strange consistency in sediment. Nothing cinematic, nothing flashy, yet underneath, millions waited silently. One of the strongest hidden clues is something almost nobody respects anymore. Consistency. Not beauty, not sparkle. Consistency. When gravel size remains strangely uniform, when heavy stones repeat over distance, when layers appear stable for long stretches, that tells you something critical happened there. The environment stabilized, and stability is where gold settles permanently. Most prospectors become impatient before they recognize this. They keep moving, searching, scanning, hoping for instant confirmation. Meanwhile, the patient observer is reading invisible patterns, and invisible patterns create visible wealth. Now look upstream. This changes everything, because rivers speak backwards. Most people work where gold appears. Professionals ask why it stopped there. That single question separates amateurs from experts. When dense material begins appearing repeatedly, something upstream caused it. Fresh erosion, broken quartz, pressure release, ancient fault activity. The river is leaving breadcrumbs, not to where gold was, but to where gold came from. And suddenly the landscape transforms. What looked random becomes intentional. Every bend means something. Every heavy stone matters. Every compact layer becomes evidence. Before, you saw rocks. After, you see history, pressure, violence, collapse, transport, settlement. The earth recording its own memory in stone. That is what gold prospecting truly is. Not treasure hunting, interpretation. And here is the frightening part. Some of the wealthiest ground on earth is still ignored today. Not because gold isn't there, because people expect the wrong signals. They expect glitter. The earth gives silence. Look closely at black sands. Most beginners become obsessed with them, but black sand itself is not the treasure. It is a warning, a signal, proof that the river can hold heavy material, magnetite, iron, dense minerals. These gather where energy drops and where heavy minerals settle repeatedly. Gold often settles too, not always, but often enough that professionals stop immediately when they see the pattern. And patterns matter more than single discoveries. One flake means little. Repeated behavior means everything. That is why geology beats luck every time. Because luck is emotional. Geology is mathematical. The earth obeys physics relentlessly. Heavy materials move less. Stable zones collect density. Pressure creates pathways. Faults create circulation. Water creates sorting. And gold always follows the rules, even when humans fail to see them. Now imagine standing in a dry canyon at sunset. No glitter, no dramatic veins. Just silence, wind, dust. Most people would leave within minutes. But hidden beneath that canyon floor could be the remains of an ancient river older than human civilization itself. A river that vanished millions of years ago, yet still holding gold trapped inside buried gravels. This has happened before, again and again. Ancient channels forgotten by time, suddenly producing unimaginable wealth. Not because the gold appeared overnight, because someone finally understood the signs. And the signs are becoming harder to read. Modern people move too fast. Attention spans collapse. Patience disappears. But gold still rewards the same ancient skill it always rewarded. Observation, quiet observation. The ability to notice what others dismiss. Because the earth rarely hides gold with complexity. It hides it beneath boredom. That is why some prospectors can stand in empty ground and feel excitement, not emotion, recognition. They understand the silence. They understand the structure beneath the surface. And sometimes, that understanding changes lives forever. But rivers are only the beginning, because some gold never reached the water at all. Some of it remained locked deep inside fractured stone, waiting for a completely different sign, a darker sign, one connected to heat, pressure, and ancient geological violence powerful enough to reshape entire mountains. And once you learn to recognize that pattern, you begin seeing why certain rocks terrified experienced miners long before they made them rich. Because hidden inside those broken formations was the kind of gold discovery capable of creating empires overnight. But that story gets far more dangerous from here. If you're enjoying this journey into hidden geology and forgotten gold science, subscribe to Pro Gems, because the next chapter reveals why certain worthless rocks became the starting point of some of the richest gold discoveries in history. And once you see those formations, you may never trust ordinary stone again. Before, you learned to read water. Now, you learn to read stone. And stone tells a different story, a heavier story, a more violent one. Because the richest gold systems on Earth were not created gently. They were born under pressure, heat, fracture, collapse, and movement so slow, it feels like stillness. Most people imagine gold forming like coins dropped into soil. Simple, random, scattered. That illusion is dangerous because gold does not appear in rock. It is delivered there, through systems deep underground, hydrothermal fluids, superheated water carrying dissolved metals, moving through fractures like invisible rivers beneath the surface. And when those fluids cool, gold drops out, locks in place, and becomes permanent. Before, there was fluid. After, there is stone. That transition is everything. Because gold deposits are not objects. They are frozen moments of movement, a paused system, a stopped flow, a captured pathway. And if you learn to recognize that pathway, you stop searching randomly. You start reading the earth like a map of pressure. Look closely at fractured rock zones, not the smooth ones, the broken ones, the chaotic ones, the places where stone no longer looks like it belongs together. Most people walk away from those areas. They look damaged, useless, dangerous. But professionals slow down there because fractures are not destruction. They are access points. Every crack in rock once carried energy. Hot fluid moved through it. Pressure opened it. Minerals flowed inside it. And when conditions shifted, everything stopped. Gold did not form in calm places. It formed in broken places that became calm. That contrast is critical. Violence followed by stillness. Now imagine a mountain range, not dramatic in the Hollywood sense, but ancient, worn down, weathered. Its surface tells you nothing. But inside it is full of scars, faults, shear zones, invisible pathways. And those pathways are where gold concentrates. Not everywhere, only where movement repeatedly occurred, then froze, then reopened, then froze again, cycle after cycle, until metal accumulation becomes significant. This is why geological maps matter so deeply, because they reveal structure that the eye cannot see, fault lines, intrusions, contact zones, metamorphic belts. They are not drawings. They are history written in geometry, and gold follows that geometry exactly, not loosely, precisely. Before, you thought gold was found in places. Now you understand something deeper. Gold is found in relationships between places, between rock types, between stress zones, between heat sources and fractures, between movement and stillness. It is not geography, it is interaction. And here is where most people lose everything. They focus on surface appearance. But gold systems are vertical, deep, stacked, layered through time. What you see on the surface is only the final expression of a much larger system underground. A system built over millions of years, and most of it is invisible. One of the most powerful indicators is something professionals rarely explain clearly: alteration. When hot fluids move through rock, they change it, chemically, visibly. Silica replaces minerals. Iron oxidizes. Rock color shifts subtly, sometimes barely noticeable, but always meaningful, because alteration is proof of movement, and movement is proof of transport, and transport is how gold arrives. Most amateurs ignore altered rock. It does not look exciting, it looks stained, weak, broken. But that damage is actually a signature, a fingerprint of ancient fluid flow. And where fluids move strongly enough, gold often followed. Now shift your attention deeper, to structural intersections. This is where the earth becomes complex. Faults crossing faults, fractures cutting through intrusions, shear zones bending older formations. These intersections are not random, they are pressure concentrators. Places where fluids slow down, turn, pond, and deposit minerals, including gold. Think of it like traffic. A single road is simple, but intersections create jams, delays, accumulations. Gold behaves the same way underground. It accumulates where pathways collide, not where they run smoothly. Before, you looked for veins. Now, you look for networks, Because gold is not confined to one line. It exists in systems of lines interacting. And the richest deposits on Earth are never isolated. They are clustered around structural complexity, always. And then there is one more layer, time. Because gold systems do not form in a single event. They evolve, reactivate, reheat, reopen, remineralize. A fault that carried fluids once can carry them again millions of years later. And each cycle adds more concentration, more enrichment, more accumulation, until small traces become economic deposits. This is why some gold regions appear overworked geologically. Too many changes, too many disruptions, too much history in one place. But that mess is exactly what creates wealth, because complexity is storage, simplicity is empty ground. Now imagine standing above such a zone. You see nothing extraordinary, just rock, weathered surface, muted colors, but beneath your feet is a frozen system of ancient movement. Fluids once boiling at depth, metals traveling through fractures, pressure collapsing and reopening pathways, and gold slowly settling into traps formed by chaos. And here's the turning point. Because once gold is locked into rock, it does not move. Water cannot wash it away easily. Time only exposes it. Erosion begins to reveal what was already fixed. That is why rivers are not the origin. They are the final chapter. Before rivers carry gold, rock must first create it. And rock creates it through structure. Not randomness, not chance, but repeated geological conditions aligning perfectly. Heat source, fluid pathway, reactive rock, and time. When these converge, gold becomes inevitable. And yet, even with all this knowledge, most people still miss it because they are searching for signals that feel obvious. But gold systems are designed by nature to be subtle. They are not meant to be seen quickly. They are meant to be understood slowly. That is why patience becomes a tool, not just a virtue. Because patience allows patterns to emerge, repetition becomes visible, consistency becomes meaningful, and meaningless ground slowly transforms into structured evidence. Now return to the surface world, where prospectors walk, where maps are drawn, where decisions are made, and realize something important. The richest discoveries in history were not found by people who saw more. They were found by people who understood more. They interpreted silence differently. They saw structure inside randomness. They saw history inside stone. And that is the final shift. From observation to interpretation. From searching to reading. From guessing to knowing where gold must exist. Because at this point in the story, you are no longer looking for gold as an object. You are looking for systems that produce gold. And once you understand systems, you can predict where wealth forms before it ever appears. But there is one final truth that changes everything completely. Some of the richest gold deposits on Earth were not discovered at the surface and not revealed by rivers, but detected through subtle anomalies and patterns so small, most people would never believe they matter. Yet those anomalies are exactly what separate empty ground from world-class gold systems. And in the final part of this journey, we reveal how those hidden anomalies form, why they are almost always ignored, and how entire fortunes were built by noticing what others dismissed without a second thought. This is ProGems. Subscribe now, because the Earth still holds signals most people will never understand. And once you learn to read them, you stop hoping for gold and start recognizing where it has been waiting all along.